welcome to your new Alti Wine Exchange video. I've come here to learn more about perhaps not the most famous quite yet of all champagne brands, but certainly one of the very most exclusive and one of the very most prestigious of all champagne brands. I am here to learn more about Boërl Kroff with co-founder and owner Stéphane Sésé and the brand ambassador, historic brand ambassador for Champagne, Boërl Kroff. She's been involved with the brand for over 10 years, so thank you Stéphane and thank you Marie for hosting us. And I'm so curious to learn more about what's behind this wine. We've tasted it a little bit before, it's absolutely magical, so I can't wait to hear from you the story. But first off, I've been saying Boërl Kroff, is that the correct pronunciation?
Yes,
Stéphane?
it's perfect.
Yeah,
you say Boërl Kroff.
So it may look a little bit different as a name, but it's pretty straightforward. Champagne, Boërl Kroff. Stéphane, you started this project some
25 years ago with my childhood friend Patrick Sabate. We start with passion. We wanted to make our own champagne and we wanted to make the best. And we said to make the best we have to find a good person, and we find a good person in Michel Drapier from Herville. Michel Drapier accepted to do that for us, only for us, and he told us, if you want this type of champagne, this type of wine, you have to be very patient, you have to wait minimum 10 years. And then with Patrick, we said, okay, we have time, we are young, we accept to wait 10 years.
Just to be very clear, so this is because you've selected that very special vineyard that has a very particular specific history.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us about the history of the vineyard and why this wine needs all this time to be open and to be perfect?
Absolutely. So the grapes from Boërl Kroff comes from a very specific plot. It's actually 3 tiny plots of very old Pinot Noir. They used to be dedicated to the production of a private cuvée for the President Charles de Gaulle. So today we still only produce from these ancient plots of Pinot Noir. Boërl Kroff is only ever produced in Magnum, and it's aged for a minimum of 10 to 13 years at the cellars before it's disgorged. Every single bottle is disgorged by hand, on demand. Every single detail, which you can't see here in the video, also the boxes, everything is done by some of the best people in their field in the world. So this is really a project created out of a personal wish to make the best of the best. Not for customers around the world, but for themselves as owners. So very few bottles are released for sale, very few are ever produced. Very few people have heard about Boërl Kroff, and every time I get to travel around the world and people ask me, so I've never heard about Boërl Kroff. I think it's actually a positive thing because we remain so exclusive that the bottles are very hard to get and very, still very rare.
And I think, yeah, that's part of the exclusivity and the magic behind this brand, because Stéphane, as you were saying, you started this wine, making this wine for yourself, and people loved it so much that you decided to make it to share it and then turn it into a brand. And
we could not take it only for us.
Yeah.
It was not legal.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah.
And so now you are sharing it, and people, very exclusive circle of people can get their hands on this champagne. So give us a bit of an idea of the scale of the production and on how exclusive this sale on the Alti Wine Exchange is. We're talking about 50 Magnums, so how exclusive, how small is the production?
It's only 3 small parcels, and we used only the grape from 1.5 parcel.
Right. Yeah.
We make a selection for each base.
Each bunch, right?
Yeah. We don't do it each year.
So the production of Boërl Kroff started in, the first vintage was 96. Well, that was released to the market, but the first that was produced was 95. But that was only released years later, when it was ready. Again, time is a key here. So the current release and what we're really selling today is the 98, and here we're standing with the 2002. So this is really a wine for the future. It's also why it was selected for Alti Wine Exchange, because these are wines that can, there's a guarantee for 60 years of aging in them. We're drinking it now today here, tasting it. It's beautiful, but it really is still a baby. Yeah?
So you said 60
years of guarantee.
60 years.
Yeah.
You anticipate that this is going to age for 60.
Oh yeah, probably
60
even longer.
years.
Yeah.
And also, this is also due to a very special cork that you use that is going to preserve and help the wine evolve positively.
This cork is unique in the world. It's a 5 pieces cork in full cork. And we decided to put on Boërl Kroff this. And we find the good producer who accepted to do it again because it was for him a new experience and it was unique for him. And we don't do a lot, and each cork is also a sniff, you know, like this, to avoid any problems, you know.
Sure.
It's very, very high technology.
Like everything else in the, what you can't really see here, but every piece on the bottle, every piece on the cases, absolutely everything is done to, I don't know, a standard I've never seen anywhere else. It is not it's definitely not a commercial product. It is, you know, really unique, made to personal standard of detail.
So craftsmanship, it's handmade.
Absolutely.
No compromise on anything. And I think my understanding is that this is going to go so far in time because of those three factors: fantastic wine to start with, because of the fantastic vineyard, large format, which always helps the wine evolve better, and this special cork that is going to trap all the goodness.
It's very important. The cork
inside the bottle of wine.
It's very important to put this.
Of course, yeah.
For me, the bottles of Boërl Kroff have always been extremely unique because I don't know of any other champagne that has been started off so slowly, only as a private dream, really, and that, you know, the patience has been always a significant part of the brand, and it still is today. This is definitely not wines that you will find anywhere. They are really, you know, a very small group of private people around the world that know our brand, that have known us for 10, 20 years, that keeps requesting the bottles. So for me, something unique, both because it was a personal dream and it's still treated as such. This is never going to be a brand that's going to be everywhere. First, there's no quantity here, but it's not a wish from the owners either.
And we want to make more. We will still do, when we do it, 2,000 and a half, maximum 3,000. No more.
And in a vintage like 2002 that was so scarce, there was only 800 Magnums in total, of which the 50 we have here are some of the very last ever existing.
All of this wine, the demand for this wine is pretty high. You traveled, Stéphane,
all around the world.
All around the world, and everyone is very excited.
I just came from Iceland. It's incredible because they bought this place, they bought 25 Magnum, it's a lot. And we accepted because the place where we were, it was the Blue Lagoon Hotel, is an amazing place and a place for Boërl Kroff.
Shall we briefly talk about what it tastes like? I'll let you give your impressions and how you see yourself this wine, and then I'll talk about it as well a little bit. What's the concept? What did you want to create in terms of sensation on the palate, and what does the wine give anyone enjoying it?
When I was young, I had the big chance to taste the biggest wine in the world. My parents opened me things from Bordeaux and from Burgundy, extraordinary. And I wanted to find again this tasting of great wines. That's why my first purpose with Patrick, of course. And we wanted to reach this
greatness in Champagne. Which is what you can taste. I'll never forget the first time I tasted this. I'm a champagne freak, and the first time I think I've been lucky to taste many of the greatest champagnes ever produced. But the first sip of Boërl Kroff I had, which is more than 10 years ago now, was something so unique, something so personal that you can't compare it to anything else. For me, it's the complexity, the harmony. You said the word seamlessness. It has everything. And a lot of it is an opulent champagne, but it's never too much. It's always on that very fine border of being rich and luxurious, but still with acidity. It's fluid. It has this finesse of it. It has a true mark of greatness that is just very unique to it.
You used to say it's a silk.
Yeah, it's silk.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's this magic of balance, and it's almost hard to describe.
It is.
It's so personal as well, I think, the way you feel about it, but it's so round and soft and silky. The texture is just completely magical, and that's the absolute mark of great wines and rare wines. Plus all the lints, and you feel the fruit and the terroir it was made from, but you also feel all the craftsmanship in the winemaking. Some wines, I think the liquor, or some of the wines here are very old wines, so everything has been crafted brick by brick, bit by bit, to achieve this balance, and I think that's one of the marks of
it was our luxury, the time.
Time again.
Memories will get myself after midnight. Oh,
Well, see you soon again for our next video of the Alti Wine Exchange. Bye bye.